Hello everyone, welcome back to Get Your Mind Right Barbecue. I'm Tommy D, of course. We're stuck here in quarantine with my lovely wife and kids. We've been here for about 15 days. In quarantine, you gotta be able to cook something that you can eat for a few days. And today, we're gonna be doing our quarantine edition pork butt. We're gonna make some pulled pork, and this pulled pork is gonna last. We're going to be able to eat leftovers on this pulled pork for quite a few days. You can put it in the fridge after we get everything done. This is quite simple, nothing fancy, just a good eating pork butt that you can pull, put on sandwiches, and have leftovers, like I said, for quite a few days after. Let's get started. But first off, I hope everybody's safe. Thank you for tuning in. Please subscribe. Let your friends know what we're doing here. I hope you're enjoying it. Stay safe out there, folks. All right. I got a 9-pound pork butt that I got at Kroger. We finally found one. It's been crazy at the grocery stores. I'm just going to give this a good coat with a binder of yellow mustard. Basically what I did is got out of the package, kind of rinsed it off lightly, and just got it on a tray here. Like I said, folks, this isn't a competition pork butt. This is just something that I know that tastes great, that my family can eat. We can enjoy it. We can get outside. We can cook a little bit. Speaking of yellow, there's a little thing down here in the South this time of year. It's called pollen. And I have bad allergies. So if I got the little sniffles or I sound like I'm congested, it's not COVID-19, thank goodness. It's called pollen. And some people can debate it, that the yellow pollen this time of year down here in the Southeast, it might be worse than the COVID-19 itself. You put them two together and you got a heck of a pair in my eyes anyway. So basically I'm just giving it a good lather. This mustard's not going to really add any flavor to it. Basically what we're doing here, make sure you get it down in that flap, is to create a binder so your rub can adhere and stick to. And that's that. Today we're using Mr. Heath Riles apple rub. I use this on some of my competition ribs. This stuff does have a little sweet taste to it, just like apple. Hey, it says apple rub, it tastes apple rub, but it's not very, very sweet. Still a traditional barbecue rub with just a little bit of kick of heat, a little taste of heat, and a little bit of sweet. I really enjoy this rub. He's got quite a few of them that's got the fruity notes in them, like the cherry, the apple, the pecan. Really, really, really like Heath Riles stuff. It smells wonderful. So we're just going to give this a good coat. Make sure we get it on all sides. Front, back. Make sure you lift that flap up underneath that bone portion and get it down in that little crease there. We're going to get this pork butt outside. We're going to let it sit up after we get everything rubbed down for about 20-30 minutes as our smoker's coming up the temp. And once I get this finished here, I'll meet y'all outside. Quarantine edition pork butt. Get your mind right. Stay safe, folks. All right, we're back outside. I got the pork butt on. I just want to show you how crazy. I wiped this grill down yesterday before we went to bed. It's about 8 o'clock this morning. And all this pollen has already came back overnight. It's something serious, folks, down here. It's something we just deal with every year. As you can see, I got this pork butt, quarantine edition, by the way, on my original Camp Chef DLX Pro smoker. We're going to be running at 250 today. We're trying to reach an internal temp of 175 before we wrap this pork butt. Okay, I'm using a blend from B&B Charcoal of the hickory, cherry, and pecan. It's called their competition blend. And I have my TP20 ThermoPro hooked up so I can monitor my grill grate temp. Also, it's very, very, very important to get you a good thermometer, a good probe, where you can monitor the internal temperatures of your meat while it's smoking. So you don't have to keep constantly checking on it, opening the lid, letting the smoke and the heat escape these smokers. It's very important where you can keep this closed so it can cook efficiently. Speaking of time, this pork butt's going to cook, general rule of thumb, an hour to an hour and a half per every pound. Based on the temperature we're cooking it at 250, it's going to be roughly around an hour. I really don't cook pork butts by time. I cook them by temperature. So, you know, this is a 9-pound pork butt. It's going to be at least a 12-hour cook. But what we're going to do, this is a quarantine edition pork butt. I'm going to speed up that process. We got it fat capped down. On a pellet smoker, I think it's very important to put the fat down because the heat source comes from the bottom up to the top to protect the meat. Fat cap down, 175. Then we're going to wrap it. We're going to turn the grill up to 300. That'll speed up the process once we get it wrapped and get this pork butt real tender. I can't wait for y'all to see this. This is the way I cook it for my family when we just want to eat some good old-fashioned pulled pork. All right, look at there. That pork butt is looking fantastic. This is the first time I've lifted the hood up on this smoker since we put it on this morning. It's been about 6.5, 7 hours. I got it up to 170, and that bark is set pretty well there. Got some good juice coming off the top of it. I'm going to keep that probe inside of it. I'm going to bring this pork butt inside. I'm going to wrap it with 2 wraps of heavy-duty aluminum foil. Get it back out here and crank the heat up a little bit on this thing. What I like to do is get 2 layers of heavy duty aluminum foil, and we want to create a good seal. We don't want these juices escaping this pork butt while we put it back on the grill at a little higher temperature. What this aluminum foil is going to do is it's going to seal all those juices and all that good flavor inside. So when the pork butt reaches 203, 205 range, we'll be able to save some of that juice and that au jus to pour back onto the pulled pork to keep the moisture up and give it a little juicier flavor when we put it back in the fridge to eat it a few days later on. So basically I just get some good foil, kind of crimp it up the best you can. We're still putting this pork butt fat side down, okay? You can actually go 3 if you need to. That way you're creating a good seal. I'll meet you back outside. Let's get this back on the smoker. Get your mind right. Okay, we're back outside. I got my probe still in the same spot that we did earlier. I got it plugged back in. We're shooting for a 200 to 205 internal temp. What I've done is I cranked my smoker up. We're no longer smoking. We've created that outside bark. We've created that flavor these last 6.5 hours. It's time to tenderize this meat and break those fats down, get some good juice inside that aluminum foil. I'm gonna bump the temperature up to about 300, 325. Let this bad boy cook inside this foil. We're shooting for a 200-degree temp at least, and then an hour rest time. Let's close this lid and get this bad boy rolling. All right, that's music to my ears. This pork butt is at 204. Time to get a little sip. This thing has been on. I cranked it up to 300. It took about 2 hours from 170 to reach to the 205 range that we're looking for. I got me a dry cooler here with a towel. I'm gonna put this butt inside that cooler and let it rest for an hour. Stay tuned, then we'll pull it. Get your mind right. All right, folks, we're back inside. It's the moment of truth. I had this pork butt in the cooler for about an hour. It's time to pull this pork. This is my favorite part. Let's check and see. First of all, I want you to see this is the double wrap. You see how good this does? This is the au jus. That's that little fat cap that was on the bottom. I'm gonna save this au jus and pour it in, or pour a little bit in with the pulled pork, and then I'm gonna add some more and sprinkle some more of the rub that we used earlier today to coat it with the mustard, the Heath Raw's apple rub. Let's see, you got an instant read thermometer in every one of these butts. Look at here. There you go, folks. That bone just falls right out, comes right out. No meat sticking to it. You know that it's ready to go. Now, you can get claws. They call them like bear claws, barbecue claws, or whatever you have. My personal opinion, my favorite way to do this is to get you some food saver gloves. Basically underneath here, I got some white ones. I'll put a link up underneath the description. AtlantaBBQStore.com. Get your gloves. I'll put a link in the description. She'll take care of you. During this pandemic, she ships. So you can have her stuff shipped right to your house. Let's get in here, babe, too, and pull this pork. Look at here. This is a beautiful thing. And I'm telling you, if you don't have some protection on your hands, I'm telling you, it's hot. It's even though it's been sitting up for an hour, you wouldn't think it'd be this hot. But what that sitting in that rest period does, it allows all that moisture, all these juices to form back down inside of the meat. If we were to pull it as soon as we came off, all those juices and all those flavors would be escape the meat, and it just wouldn't be right. So basically, you just give it a good pull here. I like mine a little bit thicker than others. We're going to put this on a burrito with some coleslaw tonight. We'll make some sandwiches. The kids eat it straight up with a little bit of barbecue sauce. This is a quarantine edition, pulled pork edition, Boston butt, smoked on a Camp Chef pellet grill. You can smoke these on any grill you got, even a gas grill. If you have a pellet tube, you can put this on a gas grill. Just make sure you're indirect, running about 225, 250, and then make sure you wrap it, turn the heat up. It'll save you some time. Everybody stay safe. God bless everybody out there. God bless America. Let's get rid of this stuff. Hey, Tommy D's going to make a few more videos. But if you're going to make some barbecue, you better have your mind right. Get your mind right.